welcome to class, everybody. We're going to kind of go through the full mat repertoire today. Not the full, we're going to leave out a couple harder exercises, but we are going to try the rollover today. So I'll give you little options, or one option, not little options, but one option that you can stick with when we do the rollover if you're not really able to quite get the hips up in the air and the legs overhead. So we're going to start with some nice little hip warm-ups. We'll go bottoms of the feet together, hands behind you. And let's just quickly kind of warm up the hips by lifting and dropping one knee at a time, like classic warm-up. Just kind of let it fall and bounce, both sit bones on the mat. And let's go for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring one knee over to the other, open it right in the middle, and then again close and open. This one, kind of push your hands into the floor because it does tend to slide you forward a little bit. If you kind of push yourself into the floor, your hands will lift you up just slightly to keep your hips in one spot. Let's go ahead and pick up our pace if your body feels comfortable with that. And we'll go for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring the right foot, it'll be your right, in front. Grab the foot in the shin, use your arms, pull yourself forward, arch your back. So think about extending our spine, and then we're going to roll to the back of the sit bones around the spine. Inhale forward, exhale back. We're going to do this 3 more times. 2 more. 1 more. Now keep the curl. We're going to dive over the legs and then just reach the arms forward. Start to straighten your spine, anchoring through your hips. Do you feel that nice stretch in your hips? Mostly you're going to feel that stretch in the right hip. Deep breath in here. Exhale, restack the spine all the way back up. Nice and slow so we get that stretch through our spine. And then we're going to take the left arm up and over. Coming back up, right arm up and over. Coming back up, turning that right leg around, left arm up and over. Coming down onto the forearm, anchor this hip down and reach. Coming up onto the left hand, push the hips up and forward. We're going to do this 3 times. And inhale up and forward. Exhale back and down. One more time. Really open up the hip. And back and down. We're going to go ahead and turn our right leg around. And we're going to bring the left leg in front and start from extending the spine and rounding the spine. Inhale forward, exhale back. 2 more times, just really get your spine moving today. 1 more. Stay rounded. We're going to dive forward, start to lengthen the crown of your head away from your tail, reaching your arms forward. So you feel that nice stretch in your hips. It will mostly be in your left hip. On your next exhale, let's restack our spine nice and slow. You get that nice stretch through the spine and take the right arm up and over. Just open up the side body and left arm up and over. And we're going to turn the left leg around, right arm up and over. And then coming down onto the forearm, anchor this hip down and reach. Coming up onto the hand, push the hips up and forward 3 times. Inhale up, exhale down. 2 more. 1 more time. Very nice job, you guys. We're going to turn and face our mat. Extend the legs down to the bottom. Let's take a quick stretch forward. And we're going to use our roll up to roll down. And we're going to go right into 100. So let's go ahead and bring our arms to our side. We're going to bend the knees, place the feet flat on the mat. Let's maintain neutral. So if you have a little teacup at your pelvis, it's going to stay balanced. We're going to bring one leg to tabletop and then the other. When you lift that second leg, you're going to feel your core brace to keep you in neutral. Let's open the knees, tuck chin and chest, curl the head and shoulders off the mat. So we're using the upper abs to curl up into our ab prep, making sure you're in neutral. You may keep your legs here or extend them. Let's pump those arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. See your belly sink in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Reach through the toes. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. squeeze the legs together. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Curl a little deeper. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 3, 4, 5, 50. Keep pumping. Exhale, 3, 4, 5, 60. Look at your belly button. Exhale, 3, 4, 5, 70. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 80. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 90. Last 10. Out, 2, 3, 4, 100. Hug the knees in. And let's just roll side to side for a moment. Kind of release that curl through our upper back. Deep breathing in and out. We're going to go right into our roll up. So extend the legs down to the bottom corners of the mat again, pointing the toes. We're going to take our arms overhead. And instead of letting your ribs flare, we're going to press our body into the mat and drive the shoulders down. So you feel this nice connection through your shoulder girdle and through your core. Arms float up, tuck chin and chest. Use your upper abs to come up to your ab prep. You're going to lengthen the tailbone to the heels and roll all the way up. Flex the feet. Reach past the feet. And then scoop and roll back down, one bone at a time. Pointing the toes, reach the arms overhead, press the body into the mat. Arms come up, exhale, roll all the way up, flex the feet, big stretch forward. And exhale, rolling back. We're going to do 4 more. Inhale, lengthen along the mat. Exhale, rolling up. Inhale, take that full stretch. Exhale, rolling back. Inhale, lengthening. Remember, the breath never stops. Exhale, rolling up, big stretch, inhale. 2 more times. Just focus on feeling every part of your spine coming off and on the mat, one part at a time or one bone at a time. Last one. And then we're going to do 1 more, rolling down onto the mat. We're going to take our arms to the side. I'm just going to scoot up a little bit. And we're going to imprint the low spine and bring the legs to a tabletop position. Now, if you have a hard time keeping your legs up, you can cross your ankles. It does make it a little easier. And we're going to do 10 hip lifts. So keeping the shoulders and head against the mat. We're just going to think knees to nose or shoulders, and then roll back down 10 times. It's okay if you can't get all the way up onto the shoulder blades. Just try to focus on rolling up and down through the spine with control. So as I come down, my arms are pressing into the mat to help me roll down, and my shoulder blades are actually staying against the floor. So resist your shoulders kind of rolling up and resist your head coming up. Let's do 4 more here. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Just give the knees a little hug in towards your body. Now that's a nice prep to get us into the roll over that we're going to try today. So if the rollover is a little too tough because our legs are going to be straight, you can just continue that same exercise. We're only going to do about 4 or 5 rollovers today. So again, if you want to stick with your hip rolls, just cross the ankles, knees can be open. For everyone who wants to do the roll over, we're going to bring our legs together, reach them up to the ceiling. Now we're going to add a little movement here to engage our low abs. So keeping your spine on the mat, we're going to lower the legs. Only as far as you can keep your low spine on the mat, and then lift. And then you're going to roll up. Think about your legs lifting up to the ceiling to roll over. And you're going to stop right when your weight's at the top of your shoulder blades. Don't go on your neck. Open the legs hip width. Keep your knees and toes looking down. Flex the feet. Now what I want you to do is reach your heels back towards the back wall as you pull your abs the opposite direction towards the mat. And we're going to roll down 1 bone at a time. Keep stretching those heels over your head. So you're going to end up feeling this really deep stretch through the backs of the legs. When we When our hips are on the mat, you're gonna lower the legs as far as you can keep your spine on the mat. Bring your legs together, point your toes, lift, roll over. Balance right on the shoulder blades, make sure you're not on your neck. Open hip width, flex the feet. Now reach those heels overhead and pull your abs, pull your belly button back towards the mat. Let your head lengthen away from your body. Let's just do 2 more. Legs go down, then they come together, point the toes, exhale, lift, roll over. Open hip width, roll down. So belly pulls back to the mat, heels reach overhead. So we want that length created through the back of the legs. 1 more time. As the hips touch, just end with your legs up. We'll hug the knees in, deep breath in and out. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I love the way the rollover feels. You get that nice stretch through the backs of your legs. If you were sticking with just your hip rolls or your hip lifts, that's great because that's really going to help you engage through the lower abs, which is what you need in order to lift those legs overhead. We're going to hug the right knee in towards our eyeball. Just lengthen the left leg along the mat. We're going to go right into our single leg circles. So let's take those arms out to the side. Reach the right leg up to the ceiling. Press the shoulders and make sure the ribs are melted down so the shoulder blades and the back of your ribs are on the floor. We're going to cross our midline. Hip comes off but not the shoulder. Circle down. And as that right leg goes out to the side, keep reaching through your left leg so that your left hip anchors to the mat. Cross. Circle. Keep stretching through those legs. So both legs continue to reach the whole time. Let's do 5 more this direction. Inhale for half your circle. Exhale for the other half. 4. 3. So it's creating some nice range of motion in the hip. 2. 1. We're going to stop with the leg up to the ceiling and let's reverse it as the leg goes out to the side. Keep reaching through that left leg. Go down. Cross your midline. Hip comes off but not the shoulder. And then we're just going to pull the hip back onto the mat. The leg just follows. And let's go ahead and smooth that out. Inhale for half your circle. Exhale for the other half. If you're getting any popping into your hip, really try to stretch through that leg. So reach it away like it's getting longer every time you circle. Let's do 1 more here. We're going to stop with the leg up and the hip down. Let's hug the right knee in towards the eyeball again. And then we'll send that leg along the mat. Center your hips and bring the left knee up. Hug it in towards your eyeball. Create some energy through that right leg by pointing the toes and reach through it. Arms out to the side, palms face down, shoulder blades and back of the ribs on the mat. Let's stretch that left leg up. Cross your midline, hip comes off, not your shoulder. Circle down. As the left leg goes out to the side, we're going to reach through that right leg to keep this hip on the mat. Now let's go ahead and smooth that out. Inhale for half your circle. Exhale for the other half. So remember, both legs are reaching away the entire time. Our anchor is our hips. 2 more times. 1 more. We're going to meet with our leg up to the ceiling and let's reverse it. Go out to the side, stretch through that leg, reach it away. Circle down, cross your midline. Hip comes off, not the shoulder. And then just pull the hip back onto the mat. The leg will follow. Let's smooth that out. And as your leg comes up, keep reaching through that right leg. Resist the tendency to change your right leg. 3 more times. Building up some warmth in the hips. 2 more. 1 more time. We're going to hug the knee in. Deep breath in and out. And let's go ahead and slide that leg along the mat. Center your hips. Open the feet a little bit wider. And we're going to do a roll up to come up to a seated position.
Arms come up, tuck chin to chest, and exhale, roll all the way up. We're gonna flex the feet, big stretch forward. And then restack the spine all the way back up. We're gonna prep rolling like a ball today, and then we're gonna roll. So just make sure you have room behind you to roll back. We're gonna hug the feet in. You can have your hands at your ankles preferably. That's a little too tough. You can have it on the shins. And if you need a little space for your body, just open the knees a little bit. It'll make it a little easier on the hip flexors. We're gonna balance right to the back of the sit bones with the feet off the mat. Collarbones wide, so make sure those shoulders aren't trying to help you. We're gonna drive the shoulders down and look at the belly button. Now I just want you to roll back about 1 inch. And then we're gonna come right back up. And if you notice, my curl is really just happening through my low back. So as I roll back 1 inch, I'm feeling that work through my deep, low abdominals. And you will feel like there's moments where your body's kind of adjusting because you might want to lose your balance and roll all the way back. So just allow that to happen and just go slow. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale up. 1 more. Inhale up. So that's the motion, that's the scoop that we want that's going to take us back and up. So let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to scoop 1 inch back, allow it to take you back and up. Balance, and then scoop, allow it to take you back and up. Balance, scoop, allow it to take you back and up. And you're just holding that little ball shape. And I like to do an exhale as I go back, a quick little inhale, and an exhale as I come up, and then an inhale as I balance. And we're looking at our belly button the whole time, and you're actually leading back with that scoop. So you're leading back with the pubic bone, not the head. So make sure you're not kind of tipping back like that. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Very nice job, you guys. We're going to extend our left leg, hug the right knee in. We're going to go into single leg stretch. So let's go ahead and right away take our left hand to the inside of the right knee and the right hand to the right ankle. And we're going to control rolling back. Keep reaching through that left leg and allow it to come up into a hover. See how slow you can roll back. And then we're right in position. Let's work an imprint. And let's switch. Inhale, switch, exhale. The hands are just kind of touching the leg. So anchoring through the hips, especially the hip of the leg that's going out. And imagine hitting a bullseye with your toes. Look at your belly button. And let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug both knees in, rest onto the mat, and just roll side to side. I got a nice little crack in my spine when I rolled back, so maybe you did too. Feels kind of good, just everything kind of shifting back into place. The next exercise we're going to do is double leg straight stretch. So let's imprint. Again, bring the legs to tabletop. The hands are going to go right above the shins or the knees. Tuck chin to chest and curl up into your ab prep. Just make sure those knees are right over your hip joint. Keeping your imprint, we're going to inhale, extend the legs and the arms. Exhale, circle legs, pull the knees back in. So remember, only go as low with the legs as you can keep your low spine on the mat. If you need to reach up a little bit more, that's okay. Our focus is here. 5 more. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze those legs together. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Rest back on the mat. Let's just roll our head side to side for a moment just to release any tension in our neck. We're going to take our legs down to the bottom corners of the mat. Center your hips, take the arms overhead, press the body into the floor. Arms come up, tuck chin to chest. We're gonna exhale, roll all the way up into our stretch forward, flexing the feet. Let the head be heavy, kind of looking down at your mat between the knees. And then we're gonna restack our spine all the way back up. Keeping the feet flexed, find your sits bones. We're gonna take our arms out in front. Imagine someone's holding your hips onto the mat. We're gonna do spine stretch forward. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop through our abs. So think about this pulling up and in, and then we're gonna tuck chin to chest, and we're just gonna round over that scoop. So as I round forward, I keep pulling my ribs up, 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 up. You're gonna end with your arms by your biceps. Flex those feet, big stretch to your spine, knees look up. And then on our inhale, we're gonna restack all the way back up. Really just curling through the head and upper back, just like you would for an ab prep. Again, scoop and tuck chin to chest. Keep pulling the abs up. Scoop, scoop. Imagine a ball, and you're kind of rounding over the ball. And then inhale, restack all the way back up. Beautiful stretch through the spine. It feels good. One more time. Scoop, tuck chin to chest. Exhale. Really pull those abs back. Pull them up, 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 up. Scoop. Restack all the way back up. All right, we're gonna go into open leg rocker. So go ahead and scoop to the back of the sit bones. We're gonna grab our ankles. Now you can be here. If you wanna keep your knees bent here, that's fine. A little tight through the hamstrings. And for a full open leg rocker, we're gonna take the legs and reach them out. And you're just gonna balance. You're kind of in a teaser shape. So the tail scooped under, upper mid back is lifted, shoulders are down. I'm reaching through my legs. Now we're gonna practice that 1 inch scoop. So we're gonna scoop 1 inch, and then you're gonna come right back up. And as you scoop, it's really important to keep reaching through your legs. 2 more times. If you lose it, just have fun with it. 1 more. Now we're gonna scoop, let that roll you back and up. And I knew my foot was gonna hit my wall. So I'm gonna scoot up a little bit. You guys keep going. So again, scoop, roll back and up. This one is definitely a little slower. Scoop, roll back and up. Kind of lifting the mid back at the top. Find that balance again. 1 more time. Scoop, roll back, and up. Bottoms of the feet together. Just take a quick little butterfly stretch just to open up the hips a little bit. You can even push the knees down if that feels good for your body. And then we're gonna go ahead and extend the legs to the bottom corners of the mat, flex the feet, reach forward, and roll back 1 bone at a time. We're gonna bring the legs into tabletop, and let's work an imprint. Reach the legs up to the ceiling. And we're gonna go to corkscrew. So let's take the legs over to the left. Your right leg's gonna get shorter because you're keeping your right hip on the mat. And we're gonna do basically like an oval. As we go to the other side, you're keeping your left hip on the mat, so the left leg gets shorter, and then we come back to center. And then we reverse it to the right, left leg gets shorter, circle down, so it's more like an oval, and back to center. 1 more each way, and then we're gonna take it into a roll-up style if you want. We're only gonna do maybe 4 total. So from here, we're going to roll up, shift your legs over to the left, look at your hips, make sure this right hip is back. We're gonna roll down through the left side of the spine. You're gonna do your oval down, roll up the other side, make sure that left hip is back, and then come to center. And then we're gonna do the reverse, over to the right, roll down the right side of the spine, oval down, switching your legs. Right leg is shorter, that right hip is back. Roll up, check your hips, make sure they're even, come to center. And let's just do that 1 more each way. to the left, roll down the left side, do your oval, lift the legs up the other side, but this time we take it up, back to center, and then to the right, roll down, right side of the spine, do your oval, and then instead of going to center, we go overhead first, then to center, and then we roll down one bone at a time. Awesome job, you guys. Hug those knees in, kind of roll side to side. So another exercise that we're taking into a little bit harder by adding that roll up overhead. Let's go ahead and take the legs down to the bottom corners, press the body into the floor, reach the arms overhead, and let's tuck chin to chest and roll up into our spine or saw. Big stretch forward, flexing the feet, and then we'll restack the spine. Just take the legs a little bit wider on your mat. We're only going to do 2 each side today for saw. Take the arms out to the letter T. Make sure you're on the sharpest points of the sits bones and the ribs are melting down. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel your spine, your core engaged so your spine gets longer. And we're going to exhale, rotate to the right. Reach across with the left hand like you're going to saw off your right pinky toe. Anchor down through that left hip. Look at your back hand and rotate palm up. And we're going to do 3 pulses. 2, 3, restacking the spine all the way back up and rotate back to center. Get a little taller, exhale, rotate and reach. Anchor down through the right hip and pulse. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, restack the spine and then twist back to center. Again to the right, reach across, last set. Inhale, restack, back to center, and last time, get taller as you rotate, reach across, and pulse. 2, 3, restack the spine, and twist back to center. I love saw, because when you do that pulse, you get this wonderful stretch in your QL. It's the muscle back here that you're feeling kind of stretching as you do those little pulses. All right, we're gonna go ahead and come onto our stomach for some swan dive. So the beginning of swan dive, we're going to kind of prep it, and then we'll do a little release and catch. So hands right underneath the shoulders. Legs are hip width apart. You can be turned out if that's more comfortable for you here. I'm going to turn out today. We're going to keep the tops of the feet on the mat. Just stretch the knees and lengthen the tailbone to the heels. So you kind of feel like your belly's pulling up away from the mat. You're pressing your pubic bone and your hips into the floor. We're going to lift just the head and upper back. Keep lengthening through the tailbone. And then just to make sure you're using the muscles in your back, I want you to lift your hands without your feet coming up. So you feel all that work in your back and your core. We're going to keep this shape and reach through the legs. So your body should be in like the shape of the bottom of a rocking horse. We're going to stay in this shape so the chest stays up, the legs stay up. And we're going to use our arms to press ourselves up and back down. So now you're rocking in this shape, basically on your pubic bone. So make sure when you lower the chest that you're not dropping down like that. So keep your heart lifted and keep stretching those legs back. So you're going to feel a lot of work through your back and your glutes. Now we're going to press up. We're going to release and catch. Release and catch. Remember to keep your heart lifted. Make sure the back of your neck is long. Now, if you want a little harder challenge, we're going to reach our arms out, palms up, and then catch. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. I like to do a little pause at the top. One more. And then lower the chest, and we're going to press ourselves into a shell stretch. Just round the spine over the legs, let the forehead rest on the mat, and just take a couple deep breaths in and out to round the spine and counteract that extension. Let's go ahead and come back onto our stomach. We're going to do our single leg kicks, not doubles today. We're just going to do singles. So you want to be on your forearms, kind of like Sphinx pose in yoga, where our elbows are right underneath our shoulders. Hands and fingers are spread nice and wide. You're pressing your palms into the mat. The shoulders are down. We're lifting our heart, just like the last exercise. Make sure you're not crunching your neck, so the back of the neck is long. And then instead of allowing the belly to kind of sink in like I'm doing now, we're going to lift through the core. You guys notice that difference? Everything's in my low back right now. And then I'm going to engage my core. So my low back is lengthened. Now it's my core supporting it. We're going to go ahead and make sure our legs are hip width apart and parallel. We're going to point the toes, bend the right knee, flex your heel towards your bottom, flex the foot. I meant pulse, not flex. Pulse, and then point the toes, you lower it down. And then right side, we're going to point, bend the knee. I'm getting a cramp in my foot, sorry. Toes pointing, we're going to pulse, flex, pulse, reach it down as you point again. So point, flex, reach it away. Point, flex, reach it away. And the abs stay lifted so that when you do your pulsing, your butt doesn't pop up. So you really want to make sure that doesn't happen. We're continuing to keep the abs engaged to support the low back. It's an exhale, exhale, inhale, stretch. One more time. And we're going to lower down, push yourself back into that nice little shell stretch. Arms at the side, resting the forehead on the floor. Let's restack our spine. We're going to go into neck pull next. So just cross the ankles, roll over the feet and the knees, and let's kind of scoot forward on our mat, reaching the legs down to the bottom corners again, just like you did for the roll-up. This one's real similar to the roll-up, but it just starts and ends a little differently. So we're going to stretch forward real quick. Restack the spine. Lace the hands together, place them right behind the head at the base of the skull. Shoulders down. Keep your back lifted. Make sure you're on the sharpest points of the sits bones and you're not flaring your ribs, so the ribs are melting down. We're going to lean back with a flat back. When you can't lean back anymore, you're going to scoot. Lean back through the pubic bone and roll down. Take an inhale, lengthen along the mat. Point the toes. Now it's really hard to roll up with your hands behind your head, so if you need the weight of your arms, just release here and do a regular roll up. Exhale. Flex the feet, dive forward. If you released your hands, just place them behind the head again. Now what we're going to do is restack our spine nice and slow, but as we do that, I want you to press your hands into your head and your head into your hands. To get this wonderful stretch through the neck. Lean, 2 more. Scoop, roll back. Point the toes, inhale. Exhale. Flex the feet, dive forward. As you restack, press your head into your hands and your hands into your head. All right, one more time, everybody. Lean back. Scoop, roll back. Point the toes, inhale. Exhale up. Dive forward, flex the feet. Now keep flexing the feet, and as you restack your spine, press your hands into your head and your head into your hands. Wonderful job. That feels so good because you get this really nice stretch through your neck. So we're going to go into scissors, bicycle, and we're going to do shoulder bridge, and then we'll come up again to do spinal twist. So let's take a stretch forward, and we'll roll down. Now we're going to bend our knees, place our feet flat on the mat. Let's go ahead and imprint today, because if your hamstrings are tight, it's a little bit easier to do your scissors. And we're going to reach our left leg up, grab a hold of the leg, just give a little pull. Tuck chin to chest, we're going to curl up and reach out through that right leg. And we're going to pulse the legs away 2 times. They reach away, switch. Exhale, exhale, inhale. And I want you to anchor through the hip of the leg that's going down. And your legs are reaching and reaching. I'm just pulling back a little bit on with my hands so that my leg gets a deeper stretch. Reach, reach. Legs get longer, longest, and longer, longest. And 4 more sets. Keep scooping through the core, looking at the belly button, last set. And rest. Just rolling the body side to side for a moment. We're gonna do bicycle. We're just gonna do one way. We're not gonna reverse it today. So hands behind the head at the base of the skull. We're gonna imprint again. And let's take the right leg up this time, left leg out, and we're gonna curl up. You're gonna bend the right knee. As you reach out, you're gonna lift the left leg up. Bend the left knee. As you reach the left leg out, lift the right leg straight up. Now again, you're gonna anchor into the leg that's going out. Bend, reach. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. 2 more times. Stretch, 1 more time. Stretch, sorry, 1 more, and with the left leg up and hug the knees in, roll side to side. Deep breath in and out. My legs are cramping a little bit today. I must not have drank enough water yesterday. Make sure you drink your water if you're cramping. All right, let's do a couple shoulder bridges. So feet right next to the bottom. You can kind of bring them in a little bit. Let's take the arms overhead. Make sure you don't flare your ribs. So we want the back of the ribs touching the floor. It's okay if your hands don't touch the mat. The back of the ribs is more important. Take a deep breath in. We're going to exhale, imprint. Start to peel the spine off the mat, bringing the arms down to your side. Make sure your knees aren't going out to the side. They're looking straight ahead. You've got even weight between the large ball of the toe, the outside of the foot, and the heel. On our next exhale, let's soften through the heart. Roll down 1 bone at a time as we reach the arms overhead. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, imprint, rolling back up. And this should just feel good. Keep the shoulder blades against the mat. Inhale, stay. Exhale, soften and roll back down bone by bone. 2 more times. One more time. Very nice job, everybody. Let's take those legs down to the bottom corners of the mat. Arms come up, tuck chin and chest, and we're going to roll up, flexing the feet, big stretch forward, and restack the spine. And we're going to do spine twists, so just find the sits bones. Anchor through the hips, toes and knees looking straight up. Your legs can be as wide as your mat. And we're going to take our arms into genie today. Shoulders down, just like when we did saw, you want to feel your abdominals engaged so it feels like your spine gets taller. And we're going to rotate to the right, anchoring through both hips. Do 3 little twists to the right. 1, a little deeper, 2, a little deeper, 3. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. And little rotations for 3, 2, 1. Inhale back to center to the right. And twist. 1. Exhale, 2. Exhale, 3. Inhale, center. Remember, we want our twist coming from our ribs, not the shoulders. Back to center. 1 more each way. Back to center last time. Back to center. We're going to stretch forward and roll back. All right, we're going to practice jackknife. So this is another exercise where the legs are going to go overhead. So let's go ahead and bend the knees. We're going to imprint, bring the legs to tabletop, cross the ankles. Now, if you want to stick with those hip rolls again, you're just going to do those as we do jackknife. So remember, this is a really nice one because it gets you into those low abs and it gets your spine to flex, which is what you need in order to roll overhead. So for jackknife, we're going to take the legs up, legs are together, and we're going to lower only as far as we can keep our imprint, kind of like what we did in rollover. Lift, and then exhale, roll up. Think about your legs going up to go over. Now at the top, you're going to balance at the top of the shoulder blades. Make sure you're not on your neck. And the jackknife part is the fact that you're going to open up your hip by squeezing your glutes, which flexes your spine more. So think bottom of the ribs to the hips, and then you're just opening your hips. You're still at the top of the shoulder blades. Now we're gonna roll down one bone at a time. The legs can come towards you. Keep your shoulders on the mat. Let's do that 2 more times. Lower the legs, keep your imprint. Lift. Exhale, legs go up to go over. Balance at the top of the shoulder blades. And then you're gonna sink bottom of the ribs to the hips. And we're gonna engage our glutes to open up the front of the hip. That's it. So my abs are pulling in and I'm kind of pushing my legs away. And then I'm gonna soften and roll down, keeping the shoulders on the mat. One more time, lower, press that body into the floor. Exhale, lift, legs go up to go over. Balance, open up the hip, pull those abs, scoop, 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 and then roll back. Hug the knees in. Let's just roll side to side, deep breath in and out. And then we're gonna roll all the way onto our left side on our forearm for side kicks. So we're gonna take our legs to the bottom front corner of the mat. We're gonna be on our forearm today, both shoulders back. Make sure you're not rotating to the floor. Open up. This hand's gonna act as like a little kickstand. Keep your bottom leg here, or you can curl the toes under and rotate your heel up to the ceiling to make it a little more challenging. We're gonna keep lifting through the bottom ribs. We're gonna lift the top leg up, flex the foot, swing it forward, exhale, 2 pulses. As you reach it past the bottom leg, it's going to turn out and you're gonna reach it to the back corner of your room. Swing it forward. Inhale, long stretch back. The hip can come forward as you go back. Keep that leg up hip width, especially when it goes to the back. Sometimes it'll have a tendency to drop. You're gonna anchor through that bottom foot. 2 more. 1 more. Beautiful, hug the knees or bring the knees in. We're gonna go to the other side. So again, making sure you're not rotated to the floor. So open up, both shoulders back. Bring your feet to the bottom front corner of the mat. Keep the bottom foot here or turn the toes under and stretch that leg a little bit harder. Keep lifting through the bottom ribs. Top leg, we're gonna lift it up hip width. Flex the foot, swing forward, 2 pulses. Inhale, reach into the back corner of your room. You can let your hip come forward as you do that. And pulse forward. Inhale, back. Good, everybody, keep going. We got 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Beautiful, bend the knees. We're gonna go ahead and sit up and get ourselves ready for teasers. So let's bring our legs together, grab the backs of the legs, and we're gonna scoop and roll back. We're gonna build up from essential, intermediate, advanced. So that's how we're gonna do our teasers today. Real simple, just nothing fancy, nothing with the legs. Keeping our feet on the mat for the first one. Legs hip width apart, arms to the side of the body, palms up for our teasers. Now tucking chin to chest, we're gonna curl up into our ab prep. The only difference is your palms are up. Then we're gonna imprint, roll all the way up to the sharpest points of the sits bones, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Reach those arms overhead, shoulders down. So we feel that work right in our mid back. Scoop, leading back to the pubic bone, roll down bone by bone. 1 more here, essential teaser. Inhaling up. So really flexing the hip, make sure the knees don't go out to the side. Exhale, rolling down. Feel free to stay there. We're gonna go into 2 intermediate teasers. Imprinting the low spine, bring the legs together. Same thing, tuck chin to chest. We're gonna curl up. This time we're gonna balance right to the back of the sits bones. Now your spine is more in your, it's in your teaser shape of the letter J. We're gonna take the arms overhead. So you're gonna feel a little more work through your abs and through your hip flexors. Scoop and roll back. Pull those knees with you. Keep your imprint as you lower your body onto the floor. One more time. Nice and slow. Keep those feet up. Scoop and roll back. Rest your feet on the mat. Just take a couple deep breaths in and out. Find neutral, so you release, holding your spine and imprint. And we're going to do 2 advanced. So feel free, again, to stay with the essential or the intermediate if you want. Extend the legs. Squeeze them together. Tuck chin and chest. We're going to curl up. Lengthen the tailbone to the heels. So in that position, I'll kind of move my arms. I'm going to lengthen my tailbone to my heels, but keep my legs together as best I can. So I'm trying to feel my low spine on the mat. Doesn't quite touch because my glutes get in the way. Just think about kind of scooping or tipping that teacup towards you. And you're going to continue to roll up. The legs are going to lift up as you do that. Resist the weight of your legs arching your back. Take the arms overhead. You can bend the knees here if you need to, like so, if your hammies are tight. And then we're going to scoop and roll back, the legs lower. So when your low spine touches, the legs are down, and then we lower all the way down. One more time. Let's bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees wide. Take a couple deep breaths in and out here. Let your heart rate come down a little bit. And then we're going to roll to one side and push ourselves up into a seated position, leaning back on our forearms for hip twist. So collarbones wide. We want to make sure we're not dumping into the shoulders like that. So press those shoulders away. I want you to think about feeling your neck get longer. Keep the spine lifted and straight. We're going to bring the legs to tabletop. So remember, in hip twist, your legs stay the same length. We actually are going to be twisting from the ribs, the lower part of the body. Take the legs up. We're going to let our legs go to the left. Our right hip comes off. And this one is actually a circle. To the other side, the left hip comes off all the way back to center. And then reverse it to the right. Left hip comes off. Circle down. Right hip comes off. Remember, legs stay the same length. Come back to center. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Try to keep your knees looking forward. Exhale. 2 more times. One more. Bottoms of the feet together. Just push yourself up and over into a butterfly stretch. Now we're going to open up our body in swimming after doing that last exercise. So just cross the ankles, roll over the feet and the knees, and we're going to lower down onto our stomach. Reaching the arms out. Keep the tops of the feet on the floor. And I'll take it slow, and then we'll slowly build up our tempo. So that way, if you want to keep it slow to make sure you're on opposite arm and leg, you can do that. So from here, we're going to straighten the knees so the knees come off, but the tops of the feet stay on. Lengthen the tailbone to the heels, just like our swan dives here, pressing your pelvis into the mat. We're going to lift the head and the chest. Pull the belly in more. Lift the arms so you now feel all that work in your back. And then reach through your legs so much that they come up off the floor. We're going to lower the right arm and left leg just into a hover. And then we switch and switch and switch and switch. So your anchor is your hips. There should be no wobbling through the body. And slowly start to pick up your pace. You can make your movement a little smaller as you go a little faster. And you should feel like you're cemented to the floor with your hips. So we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, and 4. Make sure your legs stay straight, that you're not bending your knees like that. So I'm lifting from my glute. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, and 1 more set, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3. Reach everything out, lower down, and let's rest in our shell stretch again. Arms to the side, And just rest the body over the legs. Deep breath in and out. Restacking the spine. I believe leg pull is next. Yep. So we're going to do leg pull back. We're not going to do leg pull front. We did that, I believe, in the last class, like a class that we did. We were in that reverse plank. So we're going to skip over that one today. So spread the fingers nice and wide, shoulders down. You're going to step into a plank with your legs hip width apart. Make sure your hips aren't up, your hips are down. You're going to feel work in your core. We're going to point our right foot, lift the leg without lifting the hips, flex the foot, lower back down. Go slow. We're only doing 4. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Imagine a light on your right hip. It's going to stay shining down. One more time. Exhale. Inhale. Go ahead and transfer your weight onto the right foot. We're going to lift the left leg, pointing the toe. Lift it up. Exhale. Flex the foot. Inhale. Exhale. Keep those shoulders down. Keep your left hip looking at the floor. One more time. And we're going to gently bring the knees down. Knees, feet together, knees wide. And let's sit back to open up the hips in a flat back child's pose. Reaching the arms forward, kind of softening the heart down to the ground. Let's do 2 deep breaths in and out. And we're going to go ahead and come up into a kneeling position for our side kick kneeling. So knees hip width apart. We're only going to do 6 on each side. Take the arms out to the side. We're going to bring our weight over to the left leg. As we start to reach our right leg out, come down onto the left hand. We're going to bend our top elbow to bring the hand behind the head. Now make sure your hips aren't here. Push those hips forward. Open up this hip. When we do the exercise, make sure this leg doesn't start to go tick-tock back here. So really push that hip forward. We're going to take our top leg, lift it up, flex the foot, swing forward, exhale, keep it lifted. Point, inhale, reach it back. Flex forward, reach it back. So it's real similar to the one we did on the forearms. We're just not doing our pulses. 3 more. Stay lifted when your leg comes forward. Keep those shoulders back. 2 more. 1 more. We're going to come to center, bend the knee, reach the top arm up. Start to push yourself up onto the fingertips on the left arm. Come all the way back up. Let's bring our weight over to the right as we reach our left leg out. Come down onto the right hand. Bend the left elbow, bring the hand behind the head, open up, and we're going to lift that top leg. Flex, swing forward. Inhale, point, reach back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 3 more times. 2 more. 1 more. We're going to bend the knee, reach the top arm up, push yourself up onto the right fingertips to come all the way back up to that kneeling position. Now we're going to go ahead and have a seat on our left hip for side bends. We're going to do 1 essential, it'd actually be more intermediate because any side bend definitely starts with intermediate. So 1 intermediate, and then we'll take the last 2 into advanced if you want it. It's only going to be here for 3. Spread the fingers nice and wide on your left hand, right palm up, and make sure your bottom foot is behind the top foot and your feet are away from your body. Taking an inhale, we're going to push the hips up and forward, keeping our bottom knee on the mat. That's the intermediate. We're going to exhale, arch over the mat, send that top arm overhead so you feel this nice opening through your body and your hip. Inhale, lengthen back to that straight line. Exhale, slowly lower the hips. Try not to plop down. All right, keep the bottom knee on the mat for that intermediate variation. Again, make sure the shoulder doesn't roll forward, right? So we want to keep that shoulder back in neutral. Inhale, coming up, we're gonna pass through intermediate, curl the back toes under, squeeze the inner thighs together. So squeeze right here. Those kind of thighs are connected, so you're a nice long line. And then exhale, change the shape of your spine, arch over your mat, back to your long line. Bend the knees, hips go back and down. I keep my bottom toes curled under, and then let's go right back into it, up and over. And then lengthen, back and down. Good, that's it. Shake out the wrists, and let's do the other side. So since you know what to expect, let's kind of flow through them. So bottom foot behind the top foot, left palm up, spread the fingers nice wide on your right hand, pull the shoulders back. Inhale, push the hips up and forward into that straight line, pass through it, exhale, arch over. Inhale, back through your straight line, hips go back and down. Two more. Inhale, keep the knee down or curl the back toes under and squeeze the inner thighs together, straight line. Exhale, arch over. Inhale, back. Bend the knees, slowly come down. Keep the shoulder back. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Very nice job, you guys. They're definitely hard, but they do feel really good because you get that stretch. Give your wrists a little shake out, roll them around. You can also clasp your fingers together and pull. And then switch and pull. Gives you a little decompression in your wrist, which feels good. We're going to go into seal. So make sure you have room to roll back. It's another rolling exercise. We're going to take our hands to the inside of the legs, wrap around so the ankles rest in your hands. Scoop just to the back of the sit bones and lift your feet, bringing your toes together. So the name of the exercise comes from the fact that we're going to beat the toes together 3 times at the top, and we'll try to also do that as we balance on the shoulder blades at the bottom. So really scooping. Let's practice that 1-inch scoop. Right back up. 1-inch scoop. So you're just deepening that scoop, deepening, rolling farther off your sit bones. One more time. Again, you're feeling that in your low abs. Now we're going to go ahead and scoop. Let that take you back. See if you can tap your toes 3 times. And then roll back up. Tap 3 times. Roll back 3 times. Roll up. Tap, tap, tap. You can kind of hear my breath. So I take a quick inhale and I exhale back. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Quick inhale. Exhale up. Exhale, exhale, exhale. One more time. Let's go bottoms of the feet together. Go ahead and go into your butterfly stretch just to relax the legs for a moment. We are going to skip over crab and rocking and control balance today. And we're going to go right into our push-ups to end class. So let's go ahead and come into a plank position. Feel free to come onto the knees to begin. You'll walk your hands out maybe about a foot or 2, and we're going to bring our hips forward. So most of your weight's going to be on your hands. Spread the fingers wide, press into the knuckles, shoulders down. And we're going to do 6 Pilates push-ups. So we're going to lower down smoothly for a count of 3 and up for a count of 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, up, 2, 1. Remember, your elbows look slightly back. 2, 1. Your hips go with you. 2, 1. Head stays lifted. 2, 1, and up. 2, 1. 2 more times. 2, 1, and up. 2, 1. Last one. 2, 3, and up. 2, 3. Knees wide, feet together. Rest back in a flat back child's pose. Let your hips open. And then we're gonna do one more set. So let's go ahead and set ourselves up. Feel free to come into the plank position, full lever plank, or stay in your short lever on your knees. Shoulders down. You can have your legs together or apart in your plank. I'm gonna have mine together today. We're gonna go ahead and lower. 2, 3, and up. 2, 3. Think about your chest going down first and up. 2, 3, and lower. Lead from the chest, up. 2, 3 more times. 2, 3, and up. 2, 3, 2 more. 1 more. We're gonna go ahead and bend the knees, feet together. Those were hard for me today. Go ahead and sit back in your flat back. Child's pose, just let the shoulders release. Maybe clasp the hands and open them just to work out the wrists. 2 more deep breaths in and out. Let's go ahead and come up into a seated position with the legs crossed. And we'll end with some side bending up and over. And then coming back up and up and over. Awesome class, you guys. Let's do that one more time each way. Inhale, exhale. Back up. And last one, inhale, exhale. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for taking class with me today.